Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, well, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins. And I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros. And if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017 with the Dodgers.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew, Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our men's basketball opinions of the week. And it is a long and winding road, as some people would say. And we are, of course, joined by March Madness expert and then the man, once again, trivia legend, but the man behind this video, Austin.
Kevin, I struggled with this a little bit more than I'd like to admit. This was a tough Big Six, and if you don't know who the Big Six are, it's the Big East, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, ACC, and Pac-12. But we can get right into it.
We'll let our March Madness expert decide which conference to go with first.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's get the easy one out of the way, and let's do the Big Ten.
Kevin, I'll let you go first, but I think this is a gimme.
Okay, so Big Ten. Well, I was going off what y'all talked about. I didn't go Purdue. I went Nebraska.
Okay, Jake.
Well, Kevin, you did pick the one Big Ten team that I somewhat enjoy watching. It's unfortunate that Purdue's also going to win the Big Ten again this year because it's such a weak conference, and Purdue they're firing on all cylinders right now because Big Ten defenses are awful. But I will say, Kevin, I think Nebraska would be the one team that could give them a run for their money, I guess. But I'm going to go with Purdue, but that doesn't mean that they're a phenomenal team. They're just a good team.
I have to agree with our basketball expert here. This is Purdue. Nebraska's good. I like them, but this is Purdue's tournament. They're built for winning Big Ten basketball games. And yeah, they're just built for that and not much else.
All right. Well, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Now we'll go Big East.
Okay, I'll go first on this one. I'm going Creighton. They're firing on all cylinders. I think that this means a lot to them. They want to get a higher seed. While even if UConn loses this tournament, it's not going to impact them as a 1 seed.
I disagree. I think UConn's going to get their revenge on Creighton since Creighton beat them earlier this year, or most recently. I think UConn is going to have their stuff together, and Dan Hurley they don't do the breaks. They play hard every time, and they go for every win they could possibly go for. And so I think UConn's going to get their revenge in the tournament, and they missed out on it last year. They lost. They were the national champion, but Marquette was the Big East champion. But I think this is the year they're going to win it.
I agree with the March Madness expert. I also chose UConn. So
it's a good pick. I think it'll be close. I think Creighton's a really good team.
Yeah, Creighton's definitely got a shot, but I think UConn's going to pull it out. They're just going to grind out the win and out hustle Creighton, I think.
We'll see.
Right.
Let's go to the SEC. Kevin?
I went with Tennessee. They're a team that's high in our top 25, and they seem like a team that was good last year but lacked some experience, so I think they'll be able to run it back again. And I believe they won it last year too, correct? Am I thinking of it? No, Alabama won it.
Yeah, Alabama won it.
Bama won last year, but this year is Missouri's year. It's going to be Missouri, guys. They went 0-18 in SEC play, and they're going to win the tournament.
We do not endorse
I refuse
that.
to believe that's true.
I'm kidding. It's not going to be Missouri. It's the SEC is kind of difficult to predict this year. While Tennessee and Kentucky are definitely the top dogs, there are definitely some sleepers right now, some sneaky contenders. Um, LSU has been weirdly good recently. They could pull something out of a hat, but I ultimately think it's going to be Kentucky. They are on a roll. They are on a roll right now, and I know Tennessee on paper I think is a better team. I think right now Kentucky, they have the depth, they have the defense, they have the phenomenal offense to score, and even though I think in the March Madness tournament Tennessee will go further, I think right now Kentucky has got the edge, and I think they're gonna win it all.
I went with a different team than both of you guys. I went with Auburn. I think Auburn's built for this grinded out kind of session. They are very good at turning turnovers into points, and so I like them for this. But we kind of have to come to some sort of agreement here because we are all separated.
I'll switch over for actually. The thing about Auburn is they have really good players, but when I saw them in the first half, they weren't really playing like a team.
Yeah, Auburn I think is the streakiest of the three teams, I will say, but if they're on the good side of their streakiness, they're pretty tough to beat. Um, I really like Kentucky, but if I were to choose between the two teams, I'd have to pick Tennessee. Um, so I think we, and I know Austin really likes Tennessee for the March Madness too. So
I was, sorry to cut you off. I was actually thinking, I'm getting a little bit deja vu. Austin was a big fan of one team, so I think I might. I'll give you the hand this time, Austin. I'll go Auburn.
I'd rather you give me the hand when it matters more, but I'll appreciate
Okay.
it.
well, I also would like to say that Auburn and San Diego State are completely different teams.
No,
That's
but
true.
but they're two teams Austin chose, and
It's fine. I'd rather wait
I also,
until the
I
actual
also picked
bracket.
UConn, and I also picked UConn to the benefit of the group. So like,
It
say
goes both ways. I'd rather you wait till
okay.
the actual bracket, Kevin, for you to give me that
but do you think it could be
credit back.
Kevin? Do you think Auburn or Kentucky would be better?
Man. Kentucky, do they have a lot of guys from last year?
Yeah, they got Reeves, they got Mitchell, they got Edwards. Or is Edwards a freshman? I don't remember. I know Shepard and Dillingham are freshmen. Edwards might be a freshman too. But they also got Wagner. They got Onienso, who came back. He's a good interior presence. They got Tiero, who's still there. He's also a phenomenal interior presence. I just think they finally have like a group of like really good players. It's not just a starting five.
Okay. I'll ride with Kentucky.
The entire starting lineup besides Reeves, though, really is just freshmen. Because Edwards is a freshman.
Edwards is a freshman. Is Wagner
They
a
have
freshman?
Wagner's a freshman, too. All they
I
have
didn't-
is Reeves and Mitchell.
Yeah, but these are some of the best freshmen I think I've seen come out of Kentucky.
This is a tournament for. I think this is the experience they need. This will help Kentucky be better in the tournament. But an Auburn team that has so many elder statesmen, 4 juniors and a senior in their starting lineup, and then 1 freshman, I think is more advantageous. Jonai Broom has experience winning conference tournaments back when he was with Morehead State, and I think he brings that experience here and ends up help carry Auburn to a championship.
For the record, I think these are all fair points. Like all three of these teams, I could see winning the SEC. I'm more partial to Kentucky at this very moment. So it's like,
So I have to choose. I'm choosing, right? Kentucky.
but also,
choose based on your opinion.
yeah. What do you think? I'm willing to switch to Tennessee.
Okay, if you want to switch to Tennessee.
Yeah,
Cool
I'll
with
switch to Tennessee.
All right.
I'm gonna have Tennessee as our champion.
All right. So we'll go Tennessee for this one. So that's our group pick. We all have different ones, all good points. So we've got 3 left.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go Big 12 because I'm pretty sure y'all did not go with my pick. Mine's a little bit out there. Mine's Baylor. I don't trust Iowa State, and I know Baylor's got a bunch of freshmen, but I trust Scott Drew.
So here's the thing about the Big 12. It is up for grabs. I ultimately came down to 2 teams. And surprisingly, one of them was not Iowa State. I love Iowa State, but I see them doing a kind of, UConn thing that they did last year, not winning their conference tournament, but going far in the big bracket. Now they're definitely not going to. They're not the same team, but they're deep. But right now, after the loss, I think their offense has to get into gear a little bit, and I think it's a little too soon. But I think honestly, they'll still. I think they could make a final. But I'm gonna agree with Kevin.
Oh,
I think Baylor might win the Big 12 tournament, and it came down to Baylor or Houston, and I love Houston, but I love the way Baylor's playing right now. And even though they just lost to Texas Tech, that was a tough environment, and they still played well and came back from a big deficit. And so I kind of like Baylor right now. I'm gonna go with Baylor too.
I like that pick. I like it. And Jake, I'd like to say that I was also down to two teams, and it was Baylor and Houston. I put down Baylor, and tonight before we got on, changed it to Houston. But I'm fine with either. It is so close to me. I'm fine with it being Baylor as our pick, but I'd like to say Houston is my official choice. It's
Okay.
really close, though. I think both of those teams have a true shot at winning it.
Wow.
I think that both those teams could be up for grabs. I think Texas Tech's got a shot at it. I think BYU could sneak in. I think, and Iowa
Even,
State, of course, is Iowa
even
State.
TCU. I think even TCU in a tournament like this, I
TCU's
think
got
they
to
go
run.
far.
So it's going to be one of the best conference tournaments we may have ever seen. It'll be close game after close game, but I think Baylor, the way they're playing right now, it's tough to beat. And Texas Tech was the only one who actually beat them by a lot. So
Interesting. Okay, that was a fun turn of events. So now we got two more. I want to save the Pac-12 for last. Let's go ACC.
It's a coin flip. I went Duke. The way that I know UNC won their last matchup, and it was at Duke, but I just don't think that Duke can stomach that. I think that they are going to come out a little bit more feisty than UNC and end up winning.
I was kind of on the fence as well. But the thing is like, the thing about it is Filipowski and Duke have not really been like champion material. You know what I mean? Like, I love Filipowski as a player, but he can really get in his own head and shoot them out of a game sometimes. Proctor can get streaky, and then one of their best players is a freshman. Yeah, Jared McCain's good, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of thrown off. They won last year against Virginia, but they only scored 59 points, and I don't know. I don't think they go back to back. I think UNC wins it this year. They haven't won the tournament since 2016, and so I think it's UNC's year to get back to the top of the ACC because they have a lot of veteran leadership, and I think they're going to do it again. They're
So
going to
I'm
beat
the
Duke for the third time this year.
oh man, I'm the deciding vote. It was between Duke and UNC, as y'all have talked about. I just, for some reason, I'm not a huge fan of Duke right now. There's a feeling I have, so I went with UNC.
I'm fine with that. Again, my official pick is Duke, but they are so. I just don't like the ACC as it is, so it's hard for me to really determine who really is great just based on those type of games. I think UNC is very talented, and I do think UNC is a better tournament team, but I feel like an ACC tournament could be where Duke comes on top.
Yeah, but Duke could definitely pull it out. I mean, they're a tough team. They got good players, and so I think either UNC or Duke could do it. A weird random team could do it, like Georgia Tech in 2021. So like we'll see, or Virginia Tech 2 years ago. So it could be a random team, but I think it's going to be UNC. It's been a while for them.
All right, so now the final pick for us and the final tournament for this conference, the Pac-12. I went wild card here. I went Washington State.
That's not really a wild card, Kevin. There's only two good teams in the Pac-12, in my opinion, that I would see as true contenders in like a March Madness tournament. But I didn't choose either of those teams. I went with Colorado. I really like Colorado. They're playing very well recently, and I think Jake may have picked them as well. But we'll see.
Guess what, Austin? I did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Weird. The thing about these conference tournaments, it's about who's hot and who's not. It's the same with March Madness, and right now, Colorado's hot. And while Arizona is a great team, they're on a 6-game winning streak. Colorado is, and they're playing well. They got a lot of guys, and they now have 5 guys averaging double figure points. And they hit the 3 ball at a 40% clip and rebound it at a 38 rebounds per game. Their defense is a little bit lacking, but that can serve their offenses can keep teams alive in conference tournaments. I do think Colorado definitely has a shot, but let's not forget that Arizona is and has been the beast of the Pac-12 this year. But I'm gonna have some fun and go for Colorado.
Okay. So none of us picked Arizona. I didn't feel like trusting Arizona. So our official picks are Pac-12 Colorado, Big East UConn, Big Ten is Purdue, ACC is North Carolina, Big 12 it looks like Baylor, SEC we ended on Tennessee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's all we got. This is fun. We'll see how this goes. It gets a little warm up for March Madness, and that's all we got. Make sure you check it out. And we're getting time for brackets, so make sure you're following the socials. It should be in the description. OO_podcast 20, I think, is in Instagram. OO podcast is Twitter. Still Twitter, even though it's officially called X. But that's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.